me. I just want to talk today a little bit about scouting packages specifically. So again, I get a lot of questions about scouting packages, and I just want to give you guys a quick synopsis of what they are, what they're not, how they can help you, and if they will help you, because scouting packages are 100% not for everybody. So they really benefit certain hunters and certain situations and certain tags way more so than others. So I just want to go over that today with you guys. First things first, so on any scouting package, I really like to have two forms of communication and maps and references. So obviously the first is the phone. We all know, at least most of us know, what this looks like. OnX. So what I do typically with OnX is we will go over what tag you have. This really applies a lot to elk hunters, archery elk hunters, rifle elk hunters, and tags that are hard to draw, and tags that you don't want to just slip away from you at an opportunity to kill a big bull. And you may not have the budget to go for a $7,000 to $10,000 fully guided hunt, but you may have a budget for a scouting package, which I will tell you as a guide, as an outfitter and an operator, the $1,500 scouting package, which includes points and information up until the day before your hunt, that information has a lot of value. And if you know what it takes to scout and look in an area that you've never been, and the prices along with that, it's almost a no-brainer. Because for you to go in somewhere and not know what you're doing and where you're supposed to start looking is going to take a lot of your time, a lot of gas, and a lot of just overall expense, whether that's burning weekends with your family or taking off work. And I'm referencing to guys that really want to make the most of their hunt. I'm not talking about your weekend warriors. I'm not talking about, hey, you drew an elk tag, you don't really care. You'll go meat hunting, you shoot the first bull you see. Well, that's great too, but that's not really who I'm talking to. I'm talking to guys that really want to get after it and really want to, again, like I said, make the most out of their hunt, the best effort they can put forward. And scouting packages basically give you a jump start and cut your time in half that you would need to put in for scouting and getting to know an area and knowing where the bulls are that may take you a lot longer and waste a lot of your time. And it's not waste, I don't want to say waste, because anytime you're out hunting and scouting, it's super beneficial, guys. But I just want to be forward and very transparent in that it does cost you as a hunter going into new areas, places you've never been. It's going to cost you a lot of time and a lot of money to get to know those areas, and that's why I put together scouting packages for guys. Now, we do scouting packages for coos deer, we do scouting packages for mule deer, we do scouting packages obviously for elk, a lot of tag-based hunts. Now, we do some scouting packages for over-the-counter archery hunts, but that's not really what I try to push guys into. I really try to help guys that have a tag, because archery tags you can get pretty much every year. That's going to probably change, but right now scouting packages are for guys that draw pretty good tags. So like I started with map applications and map stuff. So I use OnX a lot, obviously, and I showed you this before. It's a very recognizable screen. For some reason, I have to use the topo version. I cannot, my mind doesn't make sense with the satellite version a lot, so my buddies always look at it, they're like, well, dude, why you're like looking at, you know, I don't know what you're looking at, because I never have it on satellite. Another really awesome map I want to show you guys too is called Avenza, and this is specifically for Arizona. What's awesome about OnX is you can use it basically almost North America wide. I use it in Alaska a lot for stuff that we do up there. But here's what like an Avenza map looks like. Kind of just looks like that. I hope you guys can see it. This is the first time I like show my phone, whatever. Avenza Maps is an application that you can purchase Flatline Maps from. So if you go to Flatline Maps, which are maps that I really like to use for Arizona specific, for the number one reason that you can access your map online like that. That was unit 1, just because it's the first one on my list. And you don't need to be in cell phone service to show exactly where you are on the map. You don't need to upload offline maps and all that stuff. And I'll do another video talking specifically about maps on a different subject. But if you guys have used OnX, you know what I'm talking about. So those are 2 maps that I use. So what I'll do is I will send, me and my guides will get together, we'll talk, and then we'll get together a hunt plan for you. And the number one question I get asked with scouting packages is, how many of these do you give, and how many do you give any of these to anybody else? And the question is absolutely not. We give out 1 scouting package per unit per hunt. So if you draw a 6A early archery elk tag and you want a scouting package, first you have to check if the scouting package is even available, and secondly, you are the only one that gets that information. And it goes twofold, guys, because the information we give you, it's information that you pay for, and it should only belong to you. So I would be very careful with the information that we provide you, just from the fact that, hey, you paid for it with your hard-earned money, and you wouldn't want to go sharing that with everybody too, because you may not know when you need to use it again. And we develop kind of a trust factor with our guys, our hunters, and there is definitely a little bit of discussion going into that, and just letting everyone know, hey, we're hunting public land and we work really hard for this information, and it deserves a monetary value, and we expect that you honor that, and just honor the fact that we keep our stuff for you and you only. And we're not trying to blow out a unit, we're not trying to send everybody in the right or wrong, same spot, whatever. We have very specific hunt plan lined out that we talk about with every hunter. So it's basically a hunt plan scenario for each unit, for each hunt. And basically you have a couple hunts in each unit. Typically you have an archery hunt, and you have a muzzleloader or late archery hunt, and then you have a rifle hunt. So if that hunt's available and you want to purchase a scouting package, and it's available, I just said that, you are the only one that gets it. Nobody else is going to have that information, and the information is different every single year. So what we do is we start by sending some points via OnX, like I just showed you, and we'll send you some stuff, a couple of areas, like 3 or 4 areas that we want you to get your brain to start thinking about. We want you to start looking on a map, going on OnX, and actually looking, hey, this is where we're going to kind of stick around this area, because this is where we've seen bulls recently. Currently, right now, it is April, and we are shed hunting, and so we're determining bull growth, antler growth, bull locations, and all that kind of stuff. We're already starting this process. We actually started it last month. And so we kind of get you in the area, hey, this is where we know that there's going to be bulls in your unit this hunt. And then from there, we will update you along the way. And it's not an everyday update, guys, because we have a lot of work that we do to go into this. So typically you'll have 2 or 3 updates before your hunt. So early archery elk hunt, you kind of have 3 phases. You have when elk start dropping their antlers, and we'll kind of go over some of that stuff, put you in areas via points on a map. And then as the bulls start growing their antlers, we'll update you again, say, hey, we got some pretty good bachelor bulls here. Looks like there's going to be some good antler growth in this specific area, because even within a unit, there are some parts of a unit that get more precipitation and better antler growth than others. So even if it's a dry year, some parts of a unit are better, and same goes as a wet year. Some areas are better for feed and precipitation than other parts of a unit. So we'll update you there, and then before your hunt, we'll give you some locations of bulls that we've seen in that area at that time to give you the most up-to-date information that we can possible. We will go over water hole scenarios. What are the best water holes to use, in our opinion, during your hunt, especially for archery hunters, and also wallows and things like that. And obviously, guys, things change, rain, weather, other hunters. We can't control that. What we can control is giving you a great jump start on where you are going to start your hunt, and knowing that there are bulls in the area, and knowing that you've put the effort and time into your hunt and it's going to be worth it, and not to waste any second of you trying to figure out anything else and figure out where you're supposed to be. We're going to put you in the right spot, and it's up to you to make it happen. So secondly, I want to talk about we do everything with a hard copy map too, guys. I don't get anything from these Flatline guys. They actually like live in my town. I just really like their maps. I'm not really interested in sponsorships whatsoever. I don't really care. But one thing I like to do, I do like to have, this is not like some like weird unboxing video, but I just got one in the mail for one of our hunters, and so I'm going to actually go through it and kind of, he can have it and we can talk on the phone a little bit and we can go through some spots. So I like to have hard copies, and this is an example of a Flatline map. They look like this. So you'll see that emblem. You can go to flatlinemaps.com or something like that. I'm sure they're there. Really awesome maps. I mean, they're like those maps that are kind of have that plasticky, they're not going to rip, they're not going to get wet, you can have them anywhere. And they're a fantastic resource. What I like to do is look at the broad stroke of a unit, a broad look, the big picture look at a unit, and get kind of a macro idea of areas, and it really helps that you understand not only the micro environments but the big environments of units, because a lot of these elk and coos deer and mule deer units have different environments within and different habitats within the same unit. So you can go from 10,000 feet down to 2,000 feet, and just understanding that broad macro evaluation of flow and habitation and that kind of stuff. So it's just a cool thing to have. I do it just, I don't even know if guys look at them sometimes other than when we're on the phone together, but I really think they're valuable. And the number one thing about hard copy maps, guys, they can't ever turn off. You can only lose it or burn it. This doesn't need a charger. This is a second reference. Redundancy is very important when we're hunting and out in the wild, and being very careful and safe. It's also a safety tool. So having a hard copy map on you is important in my opinion. I'm not like a super old school guy, but I do appreciate some factors of having hard copy stuff. So that being said, basic overview, scouting package is points. It's like 3 phases of points. Get some reference points. You'll get scouting, like glassing knobs, scouting areas, water holes, and historical and current information up until your hunt. So along with that, guys, when I say we'll update you, typically we'll send videos or pictures of bulls if we can get them. Sometimes you have to take our word for it and say, hey, we'll send you a point. Hey, we found a really awesome bull here. Conditions weren't right. I couldn't get my phone together, or my phone was dead, or the bull was too far away, or whatever it is. I can't get everything on camera. Either can any of my guides all the time. It is very difficult to get good footage, but we do try at every second possible to get footage of bulls as a reference, so you can understand what's moving around. And it's simply for your education, understanding that the quality and the class of bull that you're looking for, that we're seeing in some of these areas. And more than once, it's a good inventory for guys. Hunters will say, hey, I saw that 6x6 on your video that you said should be my target bull. I shot him, thank you so much. And so that's kind of how that works. It's more of an inventory. Hey, we do an inventory and then we narrow it down, and then you can kind of go from there, decide what you want to do when you get boots on the ground and you got the tag in your pocket. So I hope this helps. I want to go into some more videos talking about maps and very specific things like that can help you hunting in Arizona and really across the West. But I just want to touch on that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon, and see you later.